Today we are diving into something that's been on everyone's mind lately, the job situation in Germany. And trust me, this video is going to be a real, honest and no sugarcoating video about what's really happening. You know how Germany has been the land of opportunities? Well, things are a little bit complicated right now. I will break down what's really happening, and I'll also share my experience with you about how I got my first junior AI developer job after just a year of studying here in Germany. So what's actually the deal right now? Germany is going through some tough times. Companies are shutting down, people are losing their jobs to automation, and there are even salary cuts happening all over the place. But here's the weird part. You must have surely heard about the 400,000 people or workers that Germany needs every year to keep the workforce going. So that sounds contradicting, right? Let me explain what exactly is going on. Germany has been hit pretty hard. For decades and decades, Germany has been profiting or benefiting from the cheap Russian energy source or gas. And due to the sanctions imposed to Russia due to the Ukraine conflict, Germany has been suffering lately because they can't receive that cheap gas anymore. Now companies are dealing with crazy high energy costs, and this is affecting companies like chemicals, manufacturing and the automotive industries, which are technically the backbone of Germany's economy. And this rise in energy costs is actually affecting the company's operations. Let me give you a real example. Continental AG, which is a massive automotive manufacturing company, is planning to cut off 3,000 jobs in their research and development department by the end of next year, which will technically make 3,000 people, which are high-skilled workers, out looking for new jobs. And that's not just them. Many other companies are actually cutting down their companies or even moving abroad to other countries in order to remain profitable. You see, the global market has shifted a lot. Germany used to profit or benefit a lot of their exportations, and due to competition with countries like China, recently Germany is struggling since its economy relies a lot on exportations. But here's where things get more interesting, and this is something that I learned the hard way. The economy is not the only reason why a lot of people are not able to find jobs. A lot of it also comes down from preparation, expectation, and also your profile. One big issue that I have noticed is the way that we approach job hunting, and especially us international students. We generally come from our countries having high expectations, thinking we are going to reach here and find a high-paying job. I was guilty of this too. You see, when I came here in Germany to study AI, after studying computer science, I thought I would land or even enter an IT job straight away, which was not really the case. Germany needs IT roles, that's what everyone tells you, but what they don't tell you is how competitive these white-collar jobs actually are. So the reality is actually very different from the expectation that we generally have. Another shocking reality is that German employers don't really care about your high degree, your very precious and famous university. What they really care about is you having a well-tailored CV that is adapted for their job advertisement or their job posting. So most of the time you will find yourself having to redo your CV multiple times, which I had to do in order to find a job. I even had to create an app in order to help me to create these multiple CVs at one time. Now, what about the worker shortage that Germany needs? You know, those 400,000 people. And what I will say is they are not looking for the jobs that you might think. Healthcare is huge. That is, nurses, doctors, and elderly care workers. They are in huge demand because they are always understaffed, and Germany has an aging population, so they need a lot of people to actually take care of the retired or even the elderly people. Next, you have got education. Germany is in a high need of teachers and also childhood educators. This is a big one. Electricians, construction workers, plumbers, and these blue other collar jobs, they are not going anywhere. They are not going to be replaced by automation anytime soon. If you learn this trade arts very well and you are able to create your own company, you will be able to make even more money than the high-paying jobs like doctors or even IT senior developers or something in the big companies actually earn. Because a lot of the German citizens are not going for those jobs anymore, so these jobs are left mostly for people who want to do the manual labors. And yeah, the IT sector is also still predominantly required. People are still looking for jobs in IT, but that is mostly for senior high-paying jobs, and most time those people don't actually have issues getting hired. And look, I know there are a lot of English speaking jobs out there, but one of the biggest barriers that a lot of people would encounter when looking for a job is the language issue. Like I mentioned in my previous video, language is very important. And the reason for that is whether you are working in a high English paying job or an English company, you will still need to know at least the B1 or B2 level in order to be able to communicate with your colleagues or even the other employees in the company. And that is something that you will have to learn. Another thing is most Germans actually speak English, and also a lot of them even speak the English perfectly. So if you are going to look for a job in an English company, know that the competition is actually very high due to the fact that you are competing not only with the other international students or even the international workers, and you're also competing with the actual Germans. And not only that, but the employer will actually prefer picking someone who speaks the German and English rather than someone who only speaks English. And let me not mention about the fact that the employers actually care a lot about the experience. The experience that you get from a non-German company is not equal to the experience that you get from a German company. So let me just explain to you what actually works and the tips that I used myself in order to get my own job as fast as I could. Here's what I learned and the tips that I used myself to get my junior AI developer job. Firstly, I want to talk about the online applications. These don't really work. Trust me, I was an online job applicant for a long time, and I was using platforms like LinkedIn. I have a well-crafted profile there, Zinc, Stepstone, and the other online application platforms. What this gets you most of the time is the interviews. I was getting a lot of interviews, but never actually getting an actual job. So a lot of people will interview you, but you will not finalize getting the job. And there's a very minority of people that actually get jobs through online applications, especially these high-collar jobs. But if you're looking for the classic normal McDonald's clerk, warehouse job, delivery driver, you can easily apply for that online, and there's not much competition on that. Most of the time, even you will find most of these jobs actually done by international students or international workers. So what really works is referrals and recommendations. And what I mean by this is you need what we call, in my common language, vitamin B. You need someone to actually have you in good light in order to recommend you. What I usually say is if you're looking for a job and no one around you knows that you're looking for a job, then you're not really looking for one. And the reason for that is you need to have a good networking strategy and skills. When you're studying, generally you have to make a lot of friends in school. That's actually how I got my junior AI developer job, by recommendation. And also in the university, most of the time we organize outings and visit to companies, and also we have events like the roll-up in my university where we invite companies, a lot of companies, like a kind of Messe in German, where companies will come and you can get in touch with them, you can exchange contacts, and you can create connections through that, which I highly recommend not missing out on. Another reason is that once you have a good networking and you are looking for a job, and you make sure to inform your environment or your entourage that you're looking for a job, most of the time, if they know a little bit about your skills, like global skills, like what you can do or what you're interested in, and there's a job opportunity, you might get contacted. Almost all people that have gotten a job here that I have met have gotten their job through recommendation. I mean, almost all of them. And I want to stress this because that's also the advice that a lot of people give me. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is that you need to be ready to start from the bottom. Even if it is dishwashing or warehousing, you need to actually get a little bit of experience in German settings. And this is because once you do that, you will actually be able to improve your German skills. You can create connections through that. In my warehouse job, for example, I actually got in touch with the IT department, and I created a lot of contacts in that IT department. For if I end my studies and I want to get a job, I might just get in touch with them in order to get one easier. So that's actually a tip that you might want to apply. So if you're planning to come to Germany, you might look also into the Ausbildung, which is the vocational training programs. German companies value these qualifications as much as the university degrees, and they are a lot shorter and a little bit easier to do. Germany is for sure going through some tough times, but what you really need to do is actually make sure that you are in the right position. So you need the right skills, not the right degree, but you need the right skills and the right connections in order to be able to get your own job more easily. Speaking the language will also be a huge plus. Now, if you're planning to come to Germany, tell me what industry you're in. I might give you some tips in the comment section below. I also added a link to the list of shortage jobs in Germany in the description down below. You can check those and make sure that when you're coming to Germany, you are actually in one of those fields if you want to have an easier time finding your own job. Also, if you have any questions, drop it in the comments down below. If you want to watch a video about the struggles I'm having while studying AI in Germany, you can watch this video. If this video was helpful to you, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm trying to make a journey here on YouTube, and I will really appreciate your support. Thanks a lot for following this video, and without being said, let's meet in the next one. Bye.